she wanted a traditional husband. But once again, I just land back on to traditional does not mean toxic. There is room for us to negotiate our family values inside of our relationships and how we want them to go. But it doesn't leave me room because she wants a traditional marriage to run her over in all my viewpoints. And even reflecting in, and I'm new to religion, by the way, so I'm definitely not a recruiter. But I do like the religion piece in Christianity, where it's talking about, you should heed your wife's advice like a bag of rubies. There's probably a lot of value in it. And I've always found where I take the time and fully hear her point of view out, um, and that it's well worth the time spent to pause.
Honestly, that's a really good bridge towards the end of that too. I think that one of the things that I mentioned in the beginning was not defining your own masculinity by somebody else's definitions. We be that some other podcaster or some TikToker or whatever kind of thing. And I think, again, to not to define masculinity in any way in some rigid way, but to me, one of the most masculine things you can do is not give a single shit about what somebody else is telling you that you ought to or should do to be a man. That you have your definition, whether that's based in a religious aspect, whether that's based on something that you were taught, and as long as you're not out there hurting people, obviously, that if your definition, whether you said like traditional marriage versus any more progressive or modern ways or whatever words we want to use for it, you doing your thing, whatever that is one of the manliest things that I think a person can do.
Yeah, and I think that to to piggyback off that, I know we got to go to think about where do you or where did the person that you're talking to get their definition of what masculinity is. I think that definitely would solve a lot of problems. When you think about the person that you're talking to, the person that you're working with, it's kind of like, where did you get your definition of what a man was? So if you think real men drink tequila, right? I'm not that guy, and like Mr. J. Curtis said, I'm not even gonna try to compete or put myself in a category with you because we're not the same.
Also, on the flip side of that, I would say not people who, might be like, oh, you drinking tequila or fixing cars, you might not be a man. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, somebody telling me that my perfectly healthy masculine traits are somehow like abrasive or harmful to them. It's like, nah, I don't think I'm going to take your definition of that